Good night, everyone. Hope you guys are having a awesome evening. I am your coach, Michelle Cumberbatch, and this is my handsome husband here with me. And we are here for another sip and chat. I hope you got your drinks. I got mine. My husband stopped by and get me some coffee. So I am ready for tonight. So tonight is a pretty special night. Tonight we have all men cast. They're like three men on here. Yeah, four men. Four men. What am I talking about? Four men and your girl, Coach Michelle. Gotta represent you ladies because they're gonna come for me. So um I want to welcome our guests, but I want you to know tonight is a pretty special night, not only because I have these four gentlemen here, but what they are representing. So on the 19th of this month, it's the International Men's Day. And I thought, let's recognize the men in our lives and give credit where credit is due because these men play an intricate part of our existence, right? For me, my husband is not only a breadwinner, he is a supporter, a comforter, and a lover. But he is very important in my life, and we always recognize women, and sometimes we fail to recognize the men in our life. So tonight it's going to be a fun night. We're going to ask them some really teasy questions because we want to get ready for relationship real talk this Saturday going down at Starbuds. Shameless plug, but I'm going to plug anyway, right? So the conversation starts tonight, and tonight we have Travis, we have Tion, and we have Malik, and we have Mr. Cumberbatch. And these men are gonna have conversation. But I want to let you ladies know. I need you to share it live. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds to share live, and I'm gonna tell you why it's so important to recognize men. These are some statistics. 76% of men out of suicide rates, 76% of the suicide rate are men. Like, yo, that's your son, that's your husband, that's your uncle, that's your brother. Why is that happening, right? 85% of the homelessness are men. Like, guys, yeah, they're the stronger of the two physically, but somewhere there's a gap because a lot of things are negatively happening and affecting them, and it affects them and it affects our families. 70% of homicide victims are men. 40% of domestic violence are men, and that's not there. There, let's just help that statistic to go really
Ca-
41%.
Case in point.
Yeah. So men are affected by all the things that women are affected by. However, we just talk about the men, talk about the women. And tonight we want to talk about the men. And we also want to ask them some really good questions that women want to know. So without further ado, I'm going to start with Mr. Travis. Could you introduce yourself? Could you hear me, Travis? I don't think he's hearing me. Tion, could you go on and introduce yourself while we figure out Travis Mike?
Hi, good evening. I am Theo David Aline, Theon, proper name. Um, Great being here with you, Coach. Thank you for having me. Mr. Cumberbatch, I appreciate the support in advance. They say man law, man law. Um, I don't know what we've gotten into, but for Coach Michelle, absolutely, I'll say yes. Looking forward to this evening.
Appreciate it. Save you for
Travis.
Travis. Can you hear us now? No, your mic is muted. We can't hear. So while Travis is getting his mic situated, I want you guys, I am daring you to share this live. We want to get the numbers up. Let's share our lives, tell a friend, bring a friend in. We're talking to four men, right? Like, Can you guys imagine? Like, this is good stuff. Can you come in now? There it is. I think you got it.
Hello?
Yes, yes, yes,
You hear me?
yes.
Perfect.
So tell
Sorry
me
about
who
that.
you
I was trying.
are.
My boss was trying to call me.
Tell us a little bit who you are.
My name is Tavis Fabian Denny. I work as a field operator at Weatherford. Honored to actually be here. You asked the last time, but sadly, I usually work during like night shifts, so during the day I normally sleep, so I'm not usually available. But it's really nice to be in the show.
Well, I appreciate you being here. Talvis. Am I saying it right? I
Tavis.
Talvis.
Tavis. I believe
Tavis.
Tavis is like in Tavis Smiley, I
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
believe.
it's
Tavis.
like
Okay, got you.
perfect. That is the name. That's who the name came from. Actually, my mom
This
named
is
me
my
that.
language guy here. Okay. So, Mr. Kamabaj, you want to introduce yourself?
I don't think I need much introduction. Just look above my head, and she placed me under her name, and I'm Mr. Michelle. I'm right below her name. She said, "You're gonna sit there."
Don't listen to him. Don't believe the hype. So our guests tonight are gonna be. I want to recognize the men on this panel. They are fathers, they are husbands, and they are potential husbands. And these are the men that are marrying the women out there, right? So, Mr. Cumberbatch, we have two married men here. So let's start with you two, right? What do you think the best part of marriage is for you?
Outside of sex, good communication, um, sex, communicating, uh, having you laugh hilariously, then some more sex.
Okay, so I told you guys this was gonna be a fun one. So TL, and do not say I second it. I want to hear an answer.
I, I, I- I'll give you an answer. I'll first start by saying what he said. Uh, um, look, a good marriage is about communicating in every aspect of life. A good marriage is about supporting each other to be able to reach your individual goals while at the same time working on your collective goals. So if it's two of you, then it's three different goals. And then if there are kids in the mix, it's my goal, your goal, our goal, and the goal concerning the
Of the
kids.
family.
Of
Mhm.
course, and communication is key. And then when the communication is good, um, the sex is better. Um, so, so that's what's
So
important.
let me just preface by saying we don't use sex, we use mangoes. Why? Because Facebook is gonna mess with our algorithm and YouTube
Sorry,
and
sorry, sorry. The
no, no, no.
wonderful
Just
juicy.
I'm just telling you
Okay.
guys because we discovered that. So
Oh,
Tavis, you and Malik, who's gonna be soon joining, are single guys, right? And maybe I should wait till he gets on because this is a real important question for you two to answer. So, ladies, just to let you know that we are gonna take questions. If there's a thing that you want to know from these gentlemen, because we have married and single meaning unmarried, not that he's not dating. So let's preface with that. So the girlfriend who's looking down, oh, he's not single, literally he is single if he's not married, okay, but he's in a relationship. How about that? So ladies, don't get hot and bothered, okay? The young men are dating.
So, in fact, while you're waiting on the guys, I probably should add, something a little more serious than what I said before. I think it's important that you know the person's love language,
Mm.
and know that uh, not everything she says you should take literally. Like, for instance, hey, you going out? Yeah, have a great time. It's not necessarily mean have a great time.
That is not true.
It's not necessarily have a great time, dummy.
Oh
She
my
means
God.
I hope you have a horrible time
Oh my God.
and you get back home safely. But not
That is
necessarily.
not
And
true.
that's just
Safely
as
and
an
quickly.
example.
Safely and quickly. Safely and quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not ours should be
That
taken
is not true.
literally.
Travis, for you who's single, when your wife will tell you to have a good time, she means have a good time. She doesn't mean have a horrible time. I don't know why you think I mean have a horrible time when I say enjoy yourself. Do you experience that when your girlfriend tell you, oh, go ahead with the boys, have a good time? Do you have a problem with that, Travis?
Nah, she definitely means have a horrible time. She's never.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, no. So,
Oh my
I
God.
totally agree with that.
Oh my God. That is not true. We
Eh,
really want you to have a good
well,
time.
the women on here can respond to that.
Ladies, when you tell your husband and your boyfriend to have a good time, do you mean it? Put one if you mean it. One for
Yes
if you
or no?
okay, yes or no. Do you mean it when you say have a good time?
With all your heart. Yes or no? Yeah. Do you really, 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 really mean you must have a good time?
I don't mean it.
See? What okay. Once I don't mean it.
I kind of mean it.
Exactly. Kind of mean it. Yep.
Women, you
I,
are shameful.
I
I do mean
looking for another no. Not really. Hey Tio, we on to something here.
it. I,
We do
I did.
understand the language.
but well, thanks for the vindication, ladies. Lydia, I love you. Also, Lexan, awesome.
What did Lexa say?
Kind of
Kind
mean.
of. Okay, guys. Like, I am going to say, let's take a quick break. I want to come back. We have some videos we want to actually show you guys and hear your opinion on it. So let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have Malik on and we're going to have some videos that we want to share.
Are you ready for a royal experience like no other? It's time to bring kings and queens together for a heart to heart conversation about love, life, and relationships. In this extraordinary gathering, these esteemed individuals will put their crowns aside, creating a space where they can speak their minds, express their emotions, and reveal what it's truly like to navigate the complexities of relationships. Get your tickets today and be a part of the extraordinary event. Join us on November 18th, 2023 in Starbucks Restaurant, 183 Albert Street, Georgetown, Guyana, for an unforgettable day of relationship real talk. Don't wait, book your spot now.
Okay, so we're back. One of the things I wanted to ask you guys, and this is, I'm going to start with Travis. When I read the statistics about men committing suicide and men being abused, that's something that is unheard of in Guyana, in the sense that if a guy is being abused, he doesn't want to speak about it because of the way he's looked at. How do we mitigate something like that, Travis?
Well, first off, we men just need to be more comfortable with like speaking up because I won't say in terms of abuse because I personally don't know anybody who would have been abused as a man, but I have friends who attempted suicide, either died from suicide, or I personally have a friend who survived. He did not, he did not die because his parents took him to the hospital fast enough to save his life. He's pretty good now. He just graduated with his bachelor's with petroleum
Awesome.
engineering. I'm pretty happy, pretty proud of him. Uh, but in his sense, like now he talks, he speaks. He tells me a bit too much, But he's my friend. I'm always happy to listen, whether or not it has anything to do with his life or some random truck he wants to buy or something, I'm always open ear. But like at the time when he did that, I'm not sure if he felt comfortable with speaking because he was a very quiet person. So he never really spoke much. He didn't really have such a close relationship with his parents, you know. So I say for men, young men, I think your parents are the closest people you could speak to. So I'd always try to motivate my friends to maintain a good relationship with their parents because they're the safest people. In most cases, you can just go to and have an honest conversation. Fathers, mothers, they give their honest opinion. Don't really care how you feel. They tell you how they feel. So you most likely get a down to earth, honest opinion from them. Besides that, husbands, men that are in relationships, your spouse, they should be the closest people you speak to. For people that don't have their parents in their life and just have, I guess, their wives or their girlfriends or their fiancés to speak up. And if that doesn't work, therapists. People might down, you know, talk down on therapists and stuff like that. But I know people that have survived suicide, depression, even abuse, case of abuse. My mom, she used to work at a company, Lifeline. They used to deal with like cases where people had certain diseases, used to, get abused. Women that used to get abused, and they used to recommend. They had like in-house doctors and stuff like that just help them. Like you could talk, you could go have a conversation with anybody. My mom, she's not a licensed psychiatrist or anything like that for any reason, but she just likes to converse. So like there'd be a group of women used to work there, and they used to have to just listen to the things that people had to say and just let them open up to them.
Right.
I learned
Right.
that from my mom. So like me personally and my friends, I always told them like my phone, even though I do work 80% of the time, if you call me and I see that missed call, you tell me it's important, you want to talk. Like you have no one else to talk to, I will hit you line up back. I will hit you up to see what's up. I'm not the type of person to reach out to you 24/7 or every day to say like, "What's up?" Hey, I'm not that type of friend. Like I love you, but like I got like a short attention
You gotta
span.
reach out
I will tell myself like, "Hey, I gotta hit up Kevin," and then I get up from my chair to go outside for some fresh air, come back inside.
and totally forget.
Cool.
Yeah,
But
that
if
happens
I
to
see
me.
that call, if I see that message, I'm gonna hit you up. We could talk, even
So
if
let
it's
me
few
ask you
hours or
this.
not.
Are you saying then one of the mitigating factors in lowering suicide among men is having more conversation and having someone to reach out to? Is that what I hear you saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Just men just need to be more comfortable with opening up. I don't see that happening a lot. Like this whole macho thing, we need to be like an alpha male. Like that whole toxic masculinity nonsense is really just getting in people's heads. Like they just don't feel they need to be soft enough to open up to speak. They just keep things to themselves. You know.
Well,
Not,
that's coming from a really young perspective, so I can respect that. Let's hear what the other young one has to say when it comes to that, because I'm sure there's going to be a difference when it comes to older gentlemen. Malik, introduce yourself. Thanks for joining us. And we are talking about um, what we can do to mitigate suicide among young men because the rate is very high. And as a young man, I would love to hear what you have to offer.
Can I be heard? Am I coming through?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before I started. My name is Malik. I'm the son of coach and the assistant coach over there.
He funny too.
I learned that one from you.
All right.
I believe a lot of the depressed young men that I know often don't feel like Tavis was saying, don't feel comfortable sharing their feelings because we're programmed from a young age by either the world around us, someone that we look up to, or just through the people that we've interacted with, that maybe that's not a good thing to do. You need to be tough. You're put in a position where you need to be a protector. You're taught that from a young age. You need to be one that goes out there and handles things. And a lot of those things kind of translate into an exterior. that doesn't allow for sharing or expression of feelings unless they come out in violent ways or aggressive ways, because you have to always filter yourself. I'm a man filter, and that's why a lot of the suicide rate climbs, because if they only know how to react with violence, they also only know how to react with violence even when it comes to themselves.
Ah,
um yeah I had a lot of thoughts. I'm trying to categorize everything.
so do you have a somewhat of a solution to help that? So we have rare our boys to have that exterior that says we are protectors, we are providers, we are supposed to mask what we feel and go out there and take care of everything, right? So when our sons are having those moments where they are feeling vulnerable, what is it that we do to mitigate the fact that they have no one to turn to, they don't know how to turn? Like what do we do at this point?
I'm still figuring that out myself. The world kind of, like I was saying, there's programming almost for it. You don't know how to reach out because there's no guidebook on it. There's a guidebook on how to be the macho guy. The world, like, and people that surround you also need to kind of approach with grace in that way, because the way that, like, if you see a young, like the average person, average person, if you were to see a young girl fall, his immediate reaction is to pick her up. A young boy fall, it's gonna say get up. That's what their response is, to just say get up, put it on them. And I feel like if the world would approach young men with that same kind of hold
Wow.
hand out to them, then there wouldn't be that kind of scenario, because
That's a good analogy.
it's just that. Like,
Uh,
there have been scenarios that I've been in myself where I've received nothing other than that's life, suck it up. And I would see a woman in the same situation, and that wouldn't be the response.
Wow.
right. But two things being talked about here. One is suicide,
Yeah.
and the second one is physical abuse. Men physical abuse is related to
Mhm.
men, and I'm from the old generation, and I could tell you right away, people like me need an education, because when it comes to suicide, it's hard for me to fathom. I've never thought about that at all.
That's
So
amazing.
that's what I'm saying. It's very hard for me to fathom. So people from my generation need an education. When it comes to abuse, no, for me, I'm not going to take any abuse. I'm going to punch back. But before you judge me by me saying that, the hardest punch I'm going to give is by walking away, and I'm going to keep walking,
Okay.
and you never even got a chance again to touch me, because I'm old school. I'm from the older generation, so I think the older generation needs an education,
I like
especially as
that.
relates to empathy, because
Yes.
I'm that person that said, "Well, get up." I mean, because that's how I was taught by my dad. But I have grown and I have learned, and therefore, because I've educated myself, I could now relate to a younger generation, and be that dad now that can say, "Hey, what's up? Is there something we need to talk about? What's bothering you? Is there something I can help you with?" As opposed to say, "Suck it up and move on." But it took
This
me
is
some
good.
time to get here. I didn't get here overnight. No.
This is good. I don't know who is on here, but ladies, you have men in your life. You should share this live, because this is a conversation that we don't want to really have, but we need to have it. Tio, I would love to hear you weigh in on this. I think one of the things I like that you said is that I wasn't taught to know how to do that, but damn, I'm learning how to do it. And so that's what we need to do. I mean, the conversation we're having is not as spicy as relates to it being controversial, and everybody want it, but it's something that is low-key controversial, because we have our men that we are losing silently to things like suicide. So Tio, please weigh in.
I want to both thank Malik and Tavis. Um, you're sharing some wisdom, and I'm learning. Um,
Exactly.
you, you're, the response that, and I've never seen looked at it that way. If a man only knows violence, even when it comes to himself, is the
Yeah.
only option he can choose.
That,
That's deep and very powerful.
yeah.
I want to look at it from a different perspective. I did not know that 40% of men are victims of abuse.
Because it's not called abuse.
That's interesting. What do they call it, Vibs? Man up.
If I see, I love analogies, but if I see a bear getting slapped by a little boy, I'm not going to think that bear's being abused, but that bear could be hurt. He's not going to attack back because he doesn't think that's right. But that bear is he's as big as he is, as powerful as he can end it in one move. That's not in his nature in that moment. So he's just taking the abuse. It's not
That
called abuse. It could be called a lot of things like, oh, she showed him. It could be anything, but it's not referred to as abuse. That's why you don't hear about it like that.
But
Right.
the
And also,
psychological damage is done,
right.
right? The psychological damage is done, and for me, I think what we haven't touched on is what most people don't want to touch on. But I'm gonna grab the bull by the horns
go ahead.
and share it briefly. It's when we choose either abuse or we believe that we have the right to remove the breath that we didn't give ourselves. It's a lack of a spiritual foundation.
Oh, oh wow. So okay. so wow, you went there. So here's the thing. I am gonna follow you there because I don't think there's people who are spiritually dependable on the Lord that don't struggle there too. I think they have a better way of getting out of it or getting up from it, but it doesn't eliminate it being there. So we have a way of thinking because I am God fearing, because I serve the Lord, we are immune to the struggles of this world. And that's not the case because we have pastors that commit suicide. Um,
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying that people who um, tend to follow a spiritual path may not succumb.
okay.
And I'm going to take it a bit broader than the context that we were most comfortable with. For me, it doesn't matter if you're Christian, Jewish observant as I am, Hindu, Muslim, whatever it is, you all subscribe to a higher power.
Hmm.
And in none of those texts is there guidance that when things get too tough for you, you have the right to check yourself out. In fact, all of them say there are different paths to the healing you need.
Hmm.
There are different things you can do. You talk to your brother, you
Yes.
pray, you meditate, you whatever. None
Yes.
of those texts say you have the right to check yourself out.
You're absolutely right on that. At least I am not aware of it.
Yeah, well, and I could be totally wrong, but I thought there was a text in the Bible that says if you commit suicide, you're not going to heaven, or something to that
Yeah,
nature.
Well,
there is something that says not that you're not going away, like it was like one of the darnest sins or something like that.
correct. It's one of the most,
Yeah,
let,
yeah,
let me put it in terms of palatable to everyone. It's one of the biggest missteps one can make. It's one
yeah,
of the
yeah.
biggest errors one can take in their life, right? Um, and so the fact that we're all on this planet, right, and we can't account for how we got here, except that we know it was through our parents, etc., means that we owe our livelihood, our breath to something else. And whatever that is what I think we need to always consult with and check in with.
I
Um,
love that, the check-in.
when 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 we run into the challenges, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so, but structurally, we need to get to the point where women are not cowering for men, and men are not cowering in shame because they're being abused. And it's not only physical. I think
Yeah.
while
Amen.
clearly a certain group of men may suffer from physical abuse, for me, the biggest abuse that humans as a whole feel, and I think it affects men maybe more than women in some respects, because of the beautiful nature of women to communicate, is what they say. And so I think most men suffer not because of
What they do.
what is done to them physically. Most men suffer because what they're told, right?
Mm.
And if you believe the power in life and death is in the tongue, when you say it, you're really inflicting wounds. And in fact,
Yeah.
in some spiritual texts, what you
And
say
the eyes are
is
closed.
actually committing murder. The person doesn't die, but you're actually committing bloodshed because you're killing that person's soul based on you beating them with your words. And I'm done for now.
I love that. Oh my gosh, do I love that. So I have two men on here that one is my husband and the other is my son. And I live by the fact that life is in the town and you can choose life or death by the things you say. Emasculating a man, I do believe it's a slow death for him because you tear down the exterior to his heart, and that leaves a wounded boy because he can't be the man for you if you are making him strip, right? And some women do it privately, some do it publicly, and I think that's a great point. Babes, do you have anything to add to that?
And no, I think pretty much sailing point, you know. So
Guys, do you have anything to weigh in on that? The emasculation of a man by a woman's tongue. I
and
mean,
and and, the,
I wrote a poem on
and there
that.
again, I'm from a different generation than today's generation, so I wouldn't stand for that.
So when
Uh,
we talk about a different generation, so the different generation handle things differently, right? So we handle things in a more abrupt way, but doesn't mean that it's really being handled, right? So
Regardless, what I'm saying, I am not wired to take abuse.
right,
Period.
right.
So it's
I
very,
don't think
it's
it's
very.
necessarily taking abuse. It's if someone says something, you still have heard it.
Uh,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
but what do I do about it?
It's the registration of it,
It
right? It's,
you still took the
you
you
got
still
you
heard it.
can't unheard it.
I get that, but for me is what's the follow up action?
What
For me, when you talk about men being abused, I'm thinking about something that's is not continual, meaning it happened from one time to the next. It's continuous, and therefore I have to create another alternative for myself. For me, if you stay in abusive situation, and that's so hard for me to fathom.
So you got to be really, really that's like eggshells right there because there's a lot of women who are in abusive situation that if it was that simple to walk away, they
but
would have,
but you
right? And
I'm
so
talking about
it's
from a
just
male
yeah, but it's the
perspective.
same application, right? There's a man that is in that situation that for whatever reason, it's just as hard to walk out.
Like what?
So
Give me a couple of reasons why it'd be difficult for the guy to walk away from an abusive relationship.
they're not
let's
Nigel.
You just give me a couple of reasons.
She has his kids.
yes, that's where I was gonna go, right?
If
Stuff
So
like
what?
that.
So a woman who's abusive, no, she could be
I'm
authoritative in the way that she would say, this man could be this child could be the closest thing to him. And she would say, I will cut you off. You will never. And for a man who loves and adore that child, he would suffer at the consequence of her being abusive to him, to be in the same space with that person, that child, that baby, or the fear of her doing it to his son, his daughter. It's I definitely can empathize with what you're saying, but what is the one thing I want to get clear is that we are not saying there's people in abusive situation that just could just walk out, because if it was that easy, it would have been done. Um, this is a mental breakdown of that person, constantly deteriorating to a place where they don't even know self enough to how to get up and walk. They have been there's a name for this, who people who have been captured and they spend like what's
Prisoners
that?
of war.
Right.
Prisoners
They've
of
been
war.
captured and they've been with that person for maybe 2 weeks. And then the people come to save them and they walk right back into that person's arm. How do you explain that? Right. It's a psychological warfare that has taken place to break that person down to that point. Right. They don't know what is healthy no more. They don't know what is safe no more.
Pardon me.
Huh?
Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, that's
It's
it.
Stockholm
Stockholm
syndrome. I'm
syndrome. That
correct.
is it.
Most women, I believe, stay in an abusive relationship because of two things: finance and kids. Period. I'm never going to be in a relationship. That's why I'm saying it's hard for me to fathom that. Never in a relationship where I'm depending financially from my wife. No. God's got to really look at me and grin. No. And secondly, I believe it is best for me to walk away from that situation for the benefit of my kids, right, and stay in there, because I don't believe I think it could harm them eventually. So for me, but I don't know. Um, I have a daughter that I've never lived in a house with, and I mean, I visited her while she was growing up. I spent time at her house, but she never spent time at my house until she became 18. And I have never pushed back against that. And why? Because I wouldn't want to create a situation where she was in the middle. So but I know she loved me then. She loves me now. She even understands me more now, and even understands her mom more now that she's an adult, and she could make a differentiation between what was happening then and what was happening now.
So, guys, thank you for putting in your comments in there. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back, and I want to wrap up this segment of the show with quick closing from both guys, from all the guys, and then I want to go into something a little more lighthearted, like asking how can women appreciate their husbands better, and I want to hear what these men have to say, or their girlfriend. um how could their girlfriend appreciate them more? Like, what is it that men are asking or lacking that they can speak from their mouth to tell women out there? So, quick commercial, and we will be right back.
Begin an exciting adventure of self-discovery. This journal is your own special place to embark on a meaningful journey of exploring and understanding yourself. Get your own copy today. The Discovery of Who Am I? Whose Am I? I Am Journal. You can now find the OLM Journal at Austin's Bookstore, located at Lot 190 Church Street, Georgetown. Just Because Shop, located at Miss Proper Boutique at the corner of 1st and Albert Streets, Albertown. And Pure Elegance Beauty Salon, located at Rayon House of Fashion Building, 73 Robb Street between Camp and Wellington Street.
Oh,
She loves
And we're back, guys. I don't know, but I am enjoying this sip and chat. It's for me, it's very edifying. The conversation is, hmm, I don't know, ladies, but I must tell you, you got to play it back and listen to what is being said because you need to look at the men around you. Like I see my husband sit on the bed and I could always tell when he's in a place where he's worried. He sleep a little bit more. He gets quiet. And that bothers me because those statistics that I read, I know I don't think of him in that way, but it still concerned me because I want to be with him until old age, right? And so whenever I see him in a concerning place, I'm asking questions. I'm going, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I tell you I was okay before. Like, leave me alone, woman." And that's just because I am sensing that there is something that I feel is not quite right. And so I say that to say for the woman who you should observe and know your man enough to know that something is not right. Just like my son, he could walk into this house and I go, "What is wrong?" And he knows that he could talk to me. And he's like, "Okay, ma." And he would talk. You need to know that because there are men out there that are suffering. As Malik gave the greatest analogy ever, when a girl falls, we all go to pick her up. When he falls, you say, "Get up." Just get up, man. And instead of saying get up to him, why don't you stretch your hands out? Your husband, your brother, your uncle, they might need a hands up. Ladies, pay attention, observe. This is serious. So, I have a more lighthearted question, but I'm going to let you guys give your tidbit. I give you mine on that closing conversation. Starting with Travis. Travis Smiley.
Travis.
Travis Smiley. Travis, go ahead. Travis Daddy, I'm just messing with you.
No worries. The whole ship calls me by this. I just start unscripted. I don't even correct people anymore. I'm
I'm
like, all
running
right,
the
cool.
ship. That's why.
She's the captain. Captain Mission.
To answer your question, what can women do to show appreciation to men more?
No, before you
Well,
jump to that, I want to know what you,
closing
what,
statement.
yes, for that
Oh,
subject.
well, I love what the older men had to say about it. As I said, I can't really speak in terms of being married or anything like that. So as you get older, you have more input in certain situations. Like I haven't experienced that things. I've been in probably two serious relationships in my life, my entire life. The one I'm currently in and my past one. I won't really refer to the rest as flings, but they weren't serious relationships. Nobody parents, nobody met the family, so they're not really relationships,
Just
so
say
to
it.
speak. But but you grow, you learn from these. Like even though it might be small experiences, like my last relationship was free. It's like I'm not a person that would go through certain things, but from your perspective, I can see that you would experience either yourself problems or you knew somebody would have certain problems or something input on it. I haven't experienced a lot of things. I haven't never felt depressed before, never had suicidal thoughts, never been abused. There's not much I could say, but from what you're saying, I do agree with it. Especially with the fact that, as Malik was saying, that how he said it in the tongue of a Caribbean. If men have problems, no one really looks that deep into it. No one tries to really pay attention. They say men hide things. Men don't really hide things out well because other men could figure it out. You could look at your brethren and be like, "Hey, yo, I'm with you." We understand. No one, not a lot of, or I would say females, they won't be able to look and tell that there's something. He's always good. He's always smiling. You know. So it's true. You know, people just need to pay more attention to men, as well as just need to be more comfortable with speaking up, saying what's on their mind, what's on their hearts. Just you know,
How about if we
putting
start rearing our sons differently?
Yeah, it takes an education there.
How about if we start wearing our voice to understand, like you could come to mommy and talk to her, you could come to daddy. If you somebody hits you, you don't have to hit them back. And if you hurt how you could tell me your feelings. How about if we start rearing our sons just different to how our parents reared us? Okay, I see you squinting your eye to
Well,
you.
it is thing is, it's not how you raise them because I realized I said I've been around on the ship. I'm the youngest guy on the ship, right? And you see a lot of things. Like you can raise a kid in the best way possible. You know, they hit 18, they're great. They hit 20, they start working. They go into certain industries. They start experiencing certain things. People change. You know, life changes people. Experiences changes people. Heartbreak changes people. You know, tragedies, loss of family members, loss of loved ones, and all that changes people. People react to things differently. You know, people just don't know how to react, so they keep things in. That would happen in a lot of cases. A lot of men just hold things in because they don't know how to express it. They're not angry men. They're not men that are quick to react or quick to lash out. So those are the men that most times suffer from depressive thoughts that would lead to suicide because they just don't know how to express it in words or in actions. So even if you raise your kid perfectly, he opens up when he's a kid. He tells his mom when something goes wrong. He breaks up with this girl. He comes running to his mom. He has something going on. He comes to his dad for advice when he gets her. And his parents are not as readily available to him as possible. And some situations just come. There's a lot of things that happen to you. You just don't want to let people know. You don't want people to know. You feel embarrassed or just aggrieved by certain things. Just don't want people to know it, so you keep it in. Raise him as how good you want, boy or girl, but you're just gonna keep things in, especially men. We're just good at it. We're just good at keeping things in and holding it for a very long time till you know tops blow and something happens, which is very wrong. I'm a very toxic person. I tell people when something is wrong. I tell my
Hey,
bosses when something is wrong. To my mom when something is wrong. I like to express myself. I've always been a very expressive person. I hope
uh,
I never change in such a sense.
well, I appreciate Travis. I do. I want to get quick weigh in on Malik, Tio, and Nigel, so we could get at least one video shown before we finish. So, Malik, could you weigh in quick on the closing? Um, really quick.
Check on the people that are around you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just said I got somebody said the host muted me. Check on all the people around you. Approach them with grace. Try to understand instead of judge, and let everyone that you love know that you love them.
Appreciate that. Tio?
First of all, thank you, Malik. Uh, apple and trees. Congrats to both of you. Um, that was well said. That was well said. That was well said, Malik. It's important that we. I think the thing that's missing most in relationships is extending grace,
Hmm.
extending empathy, and putting yourself in the other person's shoes. And if we work on building a society where people care about the other person as much as they care about themselves and truly feel that way, we reduce the amount of issues we have, and we'll have a more harmonious society. And again, thank you for this opportunity to be here. You guys, Malik is an expression of both of you, and that's an amazing job.
That face is his, though. That face is his.
Hey, if I could say something
Absolutely.
to wrap up the first segment here, I have never had the experience where my dad said, "I love you," and what's the beauty about that? I don't know what it like to do so, because I never had that experience. Then I had a son that came along and said, "Dad, I love you." And every time you get off the phone, "Dad, I love you."
Every time.
And every time you get "Dad, I say I love you," and it was like, "You can tell me you love me." So now it's easy for me to tell my boys every single time that I get off the phone or see them that I love them. And I didn't grow up with a dad. My dad never told me he loved me. And it's like the Bible says, you can learn from the youngest of them. So Malik, I appreciate you bringing it out to me, and you've made it easy for me to love you and love all your siblings, but most importantly, to express it. And that came straight from Malik. That's on the live right now, and I appreciate that, and I love you.
I love you too.
Tavis, Theo, Malik, I've got a video, Mr. Nigel. I appreciate you guys. Um, Malik, I think you have some background noise. Could you mute that for a second? Um, I am gonna play a video, and I want you guys to tell me your opinion. Now we're counting down. I see Mr. Kambaj watching his watch. He reminded me of the time. So play the video real quick. I don't know which one is gonna be played, but hey, we're going with it. We went. I am coaching here in Guyana, right? I'm coming up with a lot of women who are struggling. That every time they are in a relationship, infidelity shows up. Why is that? Why we can't get you guys to change that, man?
Let me
Why
tell you,
one woman ain't enough?
hey, what happened? I'll tell you something. It's very hard, especially we think about we speaking in Guyana, right? Afro guys.
Right.
In the old. Let me tell you something. With the Indians and the other races, them, and so you might find it so rampant, like with Negro people. Because I don't know if it's with nature or what. If
No,
back in the, I don't know.
it's
I
a
don't know. You know.
choice.
But yeah, everybody have a choice.
Yes.
Everybody have a choice.
But if you love a woman, why you continue making a choice that can keep hurting her? I mean, like, do you know how devastating it is for a woman?
I know it is, but I can tell you something. For instance, was saying, not because when you cheat on me, you love your wife, you know.
I am done. Look at Malik's face. Like, Travis?
Let me tell you something.
I am not trying to defend men, but
I know exactly what you're going to say.
I believe women are enablers. I have never had a girlfriend that I've cheated on, that the woman I'm cheating on with didn't knowingly know that I had a girlfriend. Never. Because it was never a secret. I always had a girlfriend. So I'd say, yeah, I got a girlfriend. And they were like, okay.
Wow. Now, I am not wowing because it's a shocker. I'm wowing because I want to hear what the ladies got to say. Oh, Tracy said, wow, too. Yes, Tracy. He used the word enabler. And I am going to say, oh, let me just keep my opinion till the end. Tavis, come on. Let's bring a youthful opinion to this discussion.
Well, the enabler part, that's a strong word to use. Our work gets you in a lot of problems. I wish you luck at the end of the night, but
You look at the end of the night.
Oh, no. This is my wife knows. You see, oh, this is Michelle. Yeah, yeah, we married. Are you done? Yeah.
Oh wait, that come
I
across.
won't say enabler because
come across like if you're saying that that's what we do.
No. I'm saying there's some women that it does not matter.
Yeah.
It does not matter. And most men are
Opportunists?
Yes, most men is gonna capitalize on it. Okay, that's fine. You down with it? I'm down with it too. Let's go.
I'm down with you down. That's how it goes. That's the motto you heard a lot of times. I'm not kidding if you're not kidding. So, uh it's
Right,
true, you know. Like
exactly.
there's some men that do hide the fact that they're in a relationship. I'll tell stupid things. To be honest, it helps you not to get in a lot of problems if you just don't proceed. You lie, you're gonna get caught. Sometimes it ends up worse than if you just told the truth. Just don't do it in the first place. Sure, be loyal. I would always tell my friends, like just if you really say you love this woman, just be loyal. Care for her and her alone. Temptations might there every single second some girl hitting your line. Like I don't lie. It happens to me in my 3 year relationship. It happened to me when I was single, when people hitting me up. It happens to me now. It's just, how you would react to the situation. You'd either fall victim to it, the temptation or the enabling, or just don't do it. It's totally up to you. But for somebody to say it's the you could cheat and still love your wife. People could agree with it. Some people disagree with it. I personally, I don't really know what to say much about it because I've been on the ship with men your age, and they they take care of their wives. There's no person that's ever above them. Nobody can disrespect their wives. No person gets they buy their wives nice gifts. They take their wives out. Their wives are just generally happy. I hear them on the phone. I did they would go out. I could see them with their wives, and they just generally interact well. Some people do hide things. It's kind of hard to tell, but they just seem like very, very generally happy people. And these men are not the most loyal, but they tend to prove what that guy just said. I won't agree with that. I think if you with a woman, you're cheating on her with another woman, you can't say you love that woman. But
Yeah, but a
that's
lot of
the
men is
difference.
gonna a lot of men is gonna say, "What love's got to do with it?" Yeah,
That's
and
exactly what they say.
yeah, and a lot of old dudes, it depends on their libido too. I mean, let's keep it real.
Um,
I,
and I'm,
what
I'm
I'm
not and
about
I'm
to
not and I'm not condoning cheating. I'm not saying that. My whole point was that a lot of times women cry about being hurt by guys,
but the
and
women
it's
are
not a woman that's knowingly doing it. And like I said, I'm not trying to let men off the hook, but I'm trying to keep some balance here. That's the only point I was trying to make, because love comes in or is expressed in your best behavior, period. But at the same token, and something, it's a cultural thing too. It's a cultural thing from one society to the next. Because I went to Ghana and was told that you're a good man if you only have one other woman besides your wife.
yeah, that
That is
that was
crazy.
something that was said. Absolutely was said. But before we even go any further, I want to hear what the other two have to say. So Malik, what do you have to say? I hear you were itching to say something.
what I want to say will be very contradictory to how I operate in my real life, but I'm a man that's never cheated, but I can not understand the behavior, but I can understand how it happens. I can
Sound like you had some struggles, buddy.
And leave my son alone. Don't put him on the flat spot. He said what he's gonna say is not how he lives his life. Go, bro. I
I've
got
been in
you.
situations when I'm not in a relationship where I've had physical interactions with women and felt nothing emotionally for them. That emotion that is between you and your significant other is compartmentalized. That's an entirely
Absolutely.
different part of the brain than what the part of the brain that goes, she's attractive.
Yeah.
I'm a Yamin. That's so when he's saying I can still, like I was saying, I can still love my wife, yada yada, and do what I do. Yes, I fully agree with that. I believe that. But then you have to address the behavior that it's attached to that.
Absolutely.
You're look
Absolutely.
that depends on how you look at love. Is it an action or is it a feeling? Is it a commitment? Like it all depends on the
So
angle
you're
that you look
using
at it
all the
from.
right words.
Hold on, I'm not done. But that feeling can be ever present through so whatever a man does. but he just lacks self-control.
Oh
Absolutely.
wow, yo, you been around. Mm-mm. So I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna give to you. Go ahead. Let's hear what you got to say, sir.
Why do you
That's
want me
all.
to speak after that?
I want to hear what you got to say.
Okay, so the opinion he shared was one that was a bit more sociological.
Hmm.
Um, and I think, yes, I think he's wrong on the facts. I think infidelity does not know race. Um, like Sansa, she's listening.
I know.
Infidelity,
Go ahead, speak now.
infidelity,
She's listening.
That's that. Know what?
That's his wife.
That's why you were so slow and deliberate.
infidelity does not know race or culture or creed,
No, you're
right?
absolutely right.
It doesn't. Um, and there are many who strongly believe that since there is still an imbalance in the world, it is their right and privilege, right? Imbalance in the sense that number of women in the world to the number of men, women are more than men, that it's their right and privilege to bring some balance.
Right. And also
The
some men,
equilibrium.
and then also some men don't like women. Go ahead.
Oh, so then there's
Which increases the imbalance,
Absolutely.
which increases the imbalance.
I
And, and so they see it as their duty or their manifest destiny to be able to help the world, move on.
And in
Um,
America, there's a lot of men in jail too. Go ahead, brother.
Oh my
true, true, true,
god.
true. So you just so the point is there are rational sociological reasons for this to happen. Outside of that, outside of that, um, one really needs to pay attention to the consequences of the action, right? And how productive that's going to be, right? And then make their decisions based on that. But let's not be fooled, right? Let's not be fooled. It's not a new phenomenon. It's a phenomenon today that's looked down upon. And I'm not justifying it. I'm just expressing the reality of it. It's a phenomenon that today in most societies is frowned upon and looked down upon. But historically, it was permitted, allowed, championed, praised, providing that you had the means to do it, right? So coach is not going to like me for this. Um, but brother Abraham, um, and brother David, and brother Solomon.
Yep.
They're not the whole Bible, you know. They are not the whole Bible. You don't get to pick three of them and go, okay, they are what defines man for the Bible, right? We don't get to do that.
I
No, we
lived
don't.
in my younger days. I lived in Guyana, and yeah, I was pretty expressive in the way I did things. But I had my girlfriend, and I never cheated on her with someone one that didn't have a man or didn't have a husband. My point is, it's easy for us to say men are cheaters and men are dogs, but I'm telling you, my experience, and I can only speak from my experience, is that women cheat equally as men, and some more,
Equal is a little drastic
and they
now.
are better, way
No, it's not.
better.
No, it's not.
No,
No, it's not. No, it's not.
no, no.
Nope, we're gonna nip that in the bud.
Are-
No, we're not gonna do that because that is a fact. You cannot put the two side by side and say it's an even race. No, you can't do that. I don't care how much you that is
Okay.
not. They are not equal women cheating as much as men are cheating. Absolutely
You
not. Do
got it,
not do
coach.
that.
You got it.
You
I hear
do not
all those women smiling.
So I understand we want to appease the women, and I get that. But why
we are
why is it
judged
not possible?
unfairly sometimes.
Why is it not possible? I mean, if you look at it from this
Okay,
perspective,
first,
right?
let's okay, fine. socially, it's not something that has been permitted for women to do. It has been socially permitted for men to do it because it was something that you can actually use as a badge. So therefore, you did it with authority. And
without skill,
No, it's no. I disagree. Women do it without publicizing it.
with great skill and care.
Men do it and stupidly tell the world.
Exactly. Like that guy
what guy?
that just said he
Oh,
didn't.
oh,
You know, it's like about women. You ask a woman how much guys she slept with. You have to multiply
he
by
says this
you
all
have to multiply by 3 before you could come up with a real number.
he doesn't believe that when a woman says she had two
No,
partners or
that mean
three partners,
that mean
it means times and times two.
no 3. That 2 equals to 6, and that 3 equals to 9.
Okay. So let me ask you guys this.
Hello.
Can a man be faithful?
Oh yes.
Oh, without question.
Most men that could get as much women as they desire have the ability to say no. It's the guy that
Gonna
don't
doing something.
have that opportunity. No, yeah.
Go ahead, Travis.
Hey, Tavis, can you hear?
Well, yeah. Sorry, but I was talking to mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Forgot I left my mic on. I agree with what Malik was saying. So for younger guys, right? We things happen a bit different now, especially with this whole. Well, a lot of things are being normalized now in Guyana. You know, you hear
True.
songs about it. Blow is a must.
Oh God.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, the Kabisa shows we hear people's opinions on these. You hear people say that. You know, blow is a must. Yeah, everybody getting blow. Everybody giving blow. It's like it's just being normalized. So
Yes.
no one really finds the issue with it nowadays. They try excuses with it. So you hear a lot of younger men. I was like, you know, I take care of my wife. But if I have a little bit, you know, fun on the side, she's happy. I take her on vacations here and there. I buy her the latest devices, the nicest cars, whatever. But it's just that, you know, unlike back in the day, back in the time of King David, we're like, you know, you can't really say whether that's right or wrong because these men married those women, even if they have concubines. They weren't like
Yes, you're
girls
absolutely
that
right.
those men had wives, you know, had wives. King David and many girlfriends. It's David and one wife.
I like
You know?
that.
This is just a bunch of guys,
King David and
many
the
flings.
girlfriend.
They're not even their girlfriends because they
I'm
can't
gonna stick
have
to
many
that.
multiple girlfriends. Kagan is such a small place. If you link with a girl and you think you could have 10 for 15 girlfriends, you're kind of dumb because Ghana is small. Everybody's gonna know. You know, somebody's gonna get yourself unless you can't do the same. So it's not the same as back then. You know,
Or
it's
you could just don't care.
yeah, that's it. That's how men get caught because they just don't care.
No,
They
no,
just
no. When he
do
say
not
that, he doesn't
care.
mean that. He means
I
that
understand.
you give them
I
all the
understand what he's saying.
information. Yeah, give a woman all the information. And women, listen to this very carefully. A man give you the information and leave it up to you to make the decision. He's not just, we are fooled as women to say, oh, he's so honest. No, he's allowing you to make the decision to do what he wants you to do. You interpret that as him being honest. No, you foolish girl.
In my opinion, most women wouldn't leave a man because of another woman. She would leave him because he lied, because he's morally bankrupt. So if she don't care about his lies, she won't leave.
I'm still processing.
Okay.
I'm still processing. What I do know for a fact, a man who is very intentionally skilled in being a serial dater, cheater, do not have to hide the information. that information is ammunition to get what he wants.
I can't agree. I said, you know, guys, things I have the lie. To me, lying is probably one of the things you can do. Is really good with investigating or trying to information. Because you're good. Me, I'm a bad liar. And today, right now, you ask me the same question 20 minutes down the line. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're gonna catch me in that lie right away. So I try my best not to lie to women, especially because I forget a lot. All right, so I'm just honest. You ask me a question, you gotta have a girl.
Hey, Tavis, in any relationship, especially at the beginning, every question is a test. And the right answer is the one that she thinks is believable.
Woo!
This sounds like some
I heard
coaching
that.
here.
I heard that. I heard that. I heard that before.
I don't know if
And
you guys are getting this.
This
I
sounds like
don't know
some
if you women
coaching
are
here.
registering what you're hearing, or you just letting things fly to your ear hole. But I
Just
think when
dropped the
you
$1 million
finish,
gem.
I'm telling you, you gotta rewind, play it again, and if you don't get it, play it again.
that is very
This is the man I deal with here.
like if I ask you body count, you're not if your body count is 20, 34, you're not about to tell her you got a body count as high as half of some ball. That's 34. What the hell are you doing with 30 bodies? That's crazy. You're not about to admit. You
They
about to
don't
say
care.
That's a
no.
question
No,
you
some
want.
women are
That's a,
are. I'm here. I'm listening to you.
oh no, I was just saying that's a question you don't answer. If you got body count, she'll know.
Yeah, what I'm saying, but you won't be honest and give an honest, like a really honest
No,
answer. Like
you don't respond
down the
to
line
that.
as a joke, you won't even tell her the true. You never really tell the true number, but like you know, this beating around. There's some women that just don't give up. Because I've been in situations where a girl asks me that at least once a week. She might slip it in a joke, but she asks that question repeatedly.
No,
So
that's a test. That's no joke. And your responses was the only thing is needed, whether you're gonna pass the test or not.
I
Go
believe
ahead,
most women
Lee.
already know. I believe I've been in a relationship for 4 years. I've never been asked that question. And I believe most women are already able to ascertain a
Right.
relative number
Absolutely.
That's what I said.
based on how you perform.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because she watching you from a distance. She know the count.
But she has a good
Yeah.
estimate of the count.
She just trying to confirm it.
Yes.
I think she's more so trying to see if you're gonna lie.
Right. You're being tested.
Go ahead, Theo.
And remember,
I'm listening and learning, man. I'm listening and learning.
Okay, I have gone over our time. Oh my goodness, it's shameful. But I knew it was going to happen because I had four men talking at the same time. It's nuts. Guys, I would love for you to do this again with me because there's so many things that have not been said that needs to be said. I love the different opinions and I love the different perspective that you guys have brought to the table. This is just the start of what this weekend will look like. For those who don't know, this weekend we're having the relationship real talk. That means we're having conversation like this, but even more in depth because Facebook is not going to censor us. We are going to be face to face at Starbuds and we are going to be having a conversation where we didn't even touch on mangoes. Like, women want to know, like, you think we have space to put that in? I mean, like, we don't have space. We already over time. But just to get just a nitpick. Can you guys
why you call it mangoes though?
because
What you mean,
Facebook
mango?
messed with us.
Oh man, go.
Oh, he just want to say that. He been trying to run that. He's like, no, Michelle, it's mango. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, cut it out. He just want to say that. This is what are you trying to coin it?
I don't want to make an assumption. Can you spell the word for me?
SEX.
No, man, go.
It's just a replacement for SEX. We're using Mango for a replacement for SEX. You got it?
I won't lie to you, no, because the only time I've ever heard man go in this situation is if
No,
he
no,
cheats,
no.
let
No,
that
no,
man
no,
go.
no.
That's where my brain went. I don't know what we're talking about. I won't lie.
No, okay, well,
No,
stop.
they,
Stop. Let me explain. No, no,
they
no, 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 no.
they don't want to use the word sex, so they substitute it. I'm talking about the females. They substitute it with the word mango,
Oh.
but they're slick in putting two words together that means a fruit. Man, go.
Okay. I want quick answers for this because we already over time, but I just want to leave the ladies with a little bit. Okay. For tickets, please hit 592-694-9614. Get your tickets, $4,000 for this weekend. Now, what is the key to pleasuring a woman? Tio, go.
You see what I was talking about, Nigel? These trick questions that come out of nowhere.
It's a test question.
Correct. The key is
The answer.
understanding her and giving her what she needs. It's that simple. It's
Right.
not what you want or what you think you want. It's giving her what she needs, which means that it requires this painful thing called conversation. So you
Yep.
can understand, so you can deliver.
Awesome. That's a good answer. Malik?
Malik, you're on mute.
Melissa say thank you, Mr. Tio. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Tavis, you want to go wise? Malik is quick answer, Tavis. What do you need to pleasure a woman?
Sorry about that. The internet connection is a bit flimsy right now.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, Ken. Could you answer the question? Quick.
What was the question? What was the question?
What is needed to pleasure a woman? What is it that the woman needs to be able to obtain pleasure from her man?
Women are the only creatures on the planet that have a part of their bodies devoted solely to pleasure. That's all you have to do. But also, obviously, she's gonna tell you what she needs. But there's a built-in button, you know.
You asked me a question.
1 second. Would you share the built-in button?
The clitoris, mother.
It's called the bean.
Oh my god. Thank you, son.
My
Mom.
follow-up pointed.
How do you
Hold on.
say that when say mom after it cut?
Because I wanted you to be uncomfortable because you tried to start it.
Son,
on
I'll
top
teach
of
you about
that-
the G spot also.
All right, hey, buddy. I said devoted.
Hey, cut it out.
Very-
Cut it out.
On top of that, a lot of young men that go around having a lot of sex, they are not thinking of the perspective of I want to pleasure this woman. They're just thinking I'm gonna get what I need and I'm gonna get out. Whereas if you thought about it, I'm gonna give her the time of her life. Then she's gonna want to have sex with me again. There would be. Hey,
You started.
shrug.
Hey.
You know.
Eh.
The whole young men's perspective on sex needs to change. I've had a lot of conversations with my friends and I've asked them, did she reach climax? And a lot of times they'll say, I don't know. And I'll laugh. And to them, that's offensive. But to me, what they said was offensive.
Some of my boys in my younger days would answer, who cares?
The unfortunate thing is, there's a lot of women, especially in the Caribbean, that are still facing that terrible struggle of that mentality of, I get it, I get my nuts off and go about my business. So there's a whole lot of women walking around unpleasured. And I remember one time hearing a quote says, show me a woman who doesn't have. Oh my God. Show me a woman who her husband is not, or man not meeting her need, and I show you a woman that's easy to obtain.
Who said that?
A guy.
Who's his
A
name?
guy.
What's his name?
I don't want to mention his name. It's private.
Okay.
Tavis, do you have anything to say quick before Nigel finish up here? I know you guys will kill me. I went over. I am sure.
I agree with like 100% fully and solely. No, I don't even really feel that. They just a nut is a nut. So that's it. I want to enjoy myself. That's about it. No one really cares much, you know. A girl could literally be telling you what she needs, like what she wants. She's sending you memes and your videos. It's like, dude, I just don't care.
Must be testing. Yeah. The question you said, what does a man need to do to please a woman?
Yeah.
He could ask her, find a really creative way in asking her, because she'll tell him. He could listen. Most of the time she give signs and give all the indication that's necessary. It's just that some of us as men are too dumb to pick it up. But all the
Would you say
signature,
dumb or
all,
selfish?
well, I don't know. I think ignorant. Then let me use the word ignorant.
Both can be true at different times.
Well, true. Some men don't care, or some men are ignorant to pick it up. But I think a guy that's a good listener is going to hear everything, because she's going to tell him. And it's like in my younger days, don't put up a fight against me, because you're going to tell me all the things that I need to do to make a difference. Because everything you come out to your mouth is going to be okay. For instance, if you're talking negative about men, you're telling me all the right things I need to do.
Ladies, I have been telling you to shut your mouth. I've been telling you this is for the reason. Stop giving him the information up front like that. There's different ways to communicate. What is it? But every time you tell him about your past relationship and what he didn't do, you're just telling him what he needs to show up and do for him to get to the cookie. And then if he chooses to keep moving, he will, because you don't give out all the information. Stop yapping so darn much. Guys, I must bring tonight to a close. I have never gone over, and my husband's going to tell me about it. He's going to tell me how I didn't stick to my time.
No, I'm on, so it's okay.
He's right. He's on. So he's fine. I want to say, Tavis, thank you so much. Malik, thank you so much. Theo, thank you so much. And sweetheart, I appreciate you. This conversation started by first recognizing Men International Day, by understanding that men are facing the same problems that women are facing, just that we are not paying attention to them as much as we pay attention to women. The young man made some really valid point to actually bring to our forefront why we should start paying attention and how we can pay attention. And it's just being observant, being empathetic, actually knowing your partner or your fellow family members to see when something is definitely strange, and that, can you lend a hand to help that? Now, International Men Day is on Sunday. And I want you guys, between now and Sunday, and it shouldn't stop after Sunday, but start paying attention to the men in your life. Understand suicidal behaviors just don't happen. It's things that are built up in a person who have not been able to express so clearly. And our men have been taught, as Malika said, not to, just to get up. And he might be getting up, and you need to notice that his getting up is getting slower and slower. So pay attention to him. This guy that I sit next to, I tell you what, I want to know whenever he's in a bad place, because I want to make sure I can lend a helping hand to get him out of there, because I plan on getting old with you.
And I appreciate that. And in the vein of the conversation, just one last comment, and then you could wrap up. A man, and I'm not condoning it, but if a man has two women, he's going to treat each one of them differently.
That is
And
right.
it's going to be based on how you allow him as a woman.
Okay, guys. So I think Nigel comment is absolutely correct, and you guys have heard me keep saying that. Um, but just keep in mind the men in your life, to really pay attention to them and to actually be the helping hand to them that is needed. Guys, I really appreciate you joining me today. I really thank you for the guests coming on this weekend on Starbuds. We're going to be having this conversation in a more in depth. So please tell a friend, share this live. It's not too late. You could just share it as you get off so that people will know that we are starting the conversation. Too long have gone by where we are just going with the same old, same old. We need to change the landscape of, especially in the Caribbean, of how we approach relationship, how we approach mangoes in the relationship, and how we as men function um, in a way that is holistic and healthy for them. So come and join us on Saturday at 6, and the second one starts at 8:30. Let's talk about relationship. Let's talk about mangoes. Let's talk about men. Let's talk anything you want to talk about, but be there. Tickets are $4,000, and the number is 694-9640. Put your comments in there. I will answer them. I appreciate you. And thank you, thank you. Anything, maybe?
Yeah. Find a woman that's going to help you walk the straight and narrow way.
See you guys next week, same time, 8 p.m. Love you guys. Bye bye.
I'm coached up. I'm coached
Are
up.
you ready for a royal experience like no other? It's time to bring kings and queens together for a heart to heart conversation about love, life, and relationships. In this extraordinary gathering, these esteemed individuals will put their crowns aside, creating a space where they can speak their minds, express their emotions, and reveal what it's truly like to navigate the complexities of relationships. Get your tickets today and be a part of the extraordinary event. Join us on November 18th, 2023 in Starbucks Restaurant, 183 Albert Street, Georgetown, Guyana, for an unforgettable day of relationship real talk. Don't wait, book your spot now.